Pisces, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. Yeah, let's get into the reading. I need to know what deck I want to start with for you guys. There is always an extended, and that link is below. I hope you will continue the story with me. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. 10 of Pentacles in reverse is a loss. You're taking a loss at a price. It's like a good example for this is when you have to sell your house lower than what you know the actual value is. So it's essentially 10 of Pentacles is being undervalued or being devalued. It's tangible, so it's suggestive that it's not just a feeling or a thought. It's being nickeled and dimed. It's the loss of income. It's feeling less than or being treated less than, having to take a lesser salary, or finances that you were depending on not coming in anymore. The Strength card is here to teach you strength, to teach you courage in the face of sort of disaster or whatever it is making you afraid. What she's doing in the card is she's wrestling fear, or those fearsome aspects, dynamics of her own self, the beast within. Okay. And then we have the Empress here. This is really interesting because there's a duality here, Pisces. There's wrangling your fear, fighting your fear of being lesser than or being devalued, or even these tangible fears of losing money, the loss of income. And then here's the Empress. So she's sitting in abundance. She's sitting in prosperity. She's sitting in joy and fullness and completeness of herself. So what this trifecta is telling me is a beautiful story of somebody who is finding their value in different aspects of their life than tangible validations from society or from society or a particular branch of society, like a work. In other words, I am not going to be confined, somebody who is deciding to not be confined by how much money they make. I feel like this is extremely Piscean energy because of the level of devotion that Pisces have to their ideas and their ideals. Let's keep going. Pisces, please. Pisces. This is Eight of Pentacles in the past. So, okay. All right, Pisces. So, yeah, finances and the tangible world, and it's really interesting how this is playing out for you. This battle of the truth of your soul. Not to sound dramatic, but you have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse in the past. And what that stands for is doing work that you hate just to make the paycheck. Or it could be doing charity work, but no, in this context, it's doing work that you can't stand just to make the paycheck. And in this, I'm going to share with you a little tidbit of when you do work just to make the paycheck and you compromise the value system or give up your dreams to do it or prioritize it over your dreams, when you are defeated and when you lose either a paycheck or money or a raise, when you've already compromised yourself, it feels like the ultimate failure. It's like being kicked in the gut. And that kick in the gut could be the awakening period for you to realize, why am I feeling so low? Because I degraded myself first. Because I decided to allow myself to get overcome with fear about, can I pay rent? Can I make? Of course I can. And I always do. And I always find a way. And yes, creature comforts are not only nice, they're comforting, and we don't want to constantly have to, like, you know, share a bedroom with 2 other people or lay on a cot on the floor. Like, how many sacrifices do we have to make? And so there was just this essence of, okay, I'm going to make the paycheck, right? I'm going to go for the paycheck, or I'm going to go for the creature comforts because I want them. And honestly, Pisces, there's no shame in wanting those things. And in deserving those things when you work very hard for them, when you work very hard. But the balancing act, the balancing out now is getting back to your soul space, finding your soul again, and feeling like in some ways you lost your soul in that pursuit of being comfortable. And what I first want to say to you is, like, I was going to say forgive yourself, but there's nothing to forgive yourself for. It is quite natural to want to feel comfortable and to not want to worry about how rent is going to be paid or how the mortgage is going to be paid. You know, that it's like only something only truly artistic or sensitive people really even feel guilty about, because you're so connected to your inner soul that you feel like everything in the 3D is a sin. And that's just not true. It's just not true. I think that it's okay to want these creature comforts, and I'm sorry that it felt like such a dig to your soul to just feel that way. I want you to feel that way. I want you to feel comfortable and happy, and you deserve to feel all of those things. Every Pisces I know works their ass off, you know, and so why shouldn't you get those things and feel those things? And in some ways, now, why am I saying all this? Because in some ways now, Pisces, the conflict that you're going through, the conflict that we're all going through, Leo versus Aquarius energy, and it's a battle royale in the sky of the self versus the whole, the collective, the community. And it's like, where do I fit in with that? Where do I, how much does what is valued by society, how much should it mean to me? Should it mean nothing to me? Of course it should mean something to you. You're part of society. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to want a lot of nice things, but this feeling that you're getting, that the cards are suggesting, of feeling like you've been drained and underappreciated, especially by yourself, everything that you are, based on maybe you've gotten too caught up in looking at the tangible or looking at the 3D resources, the money, the finances, all of those things. It's like, okay, they're not what makes me special. And now I'm kind of like getting this balance between, finding this fine balance between making myself comfortable and doing what makes me happy, and knowing how much should I work for the week, and how much time should I give myself to enjoy myself, and how much should I insist on being appreciated. And I can't just take any job, especially if I feel devalued in the job. Simultaneously, there are more important things to me, and that isn't the end all be all of who I am and why I'm here. So this beautiful balance of something that I can be proud of, even when the money isn't coming in, and learning how to balance those tangible receipts with your soul purpose, realizing that, well, I have to do both, and I can do both. I'm capable. I want to uncover this card to you, is the High Priestess. So she is divine balance. I didn't make this card come out. This is the card that comes out. And in a lot of ways, I relate the High Priestess very much so to Piscean energy. I know that the Moon card is representative of Pisces, but it can also be Cancerian energy, or at least guide Cancerian energy, since the moon does guide Cancerian energy. But the High Priestess is the personification of the psyche and of cosmic balance, of that spiritual balance that we all need inside of ourselves, of our God space, and how to keep it tuned right and true and balanced with all those other things outside of ourselves that we have to experience every day. And this is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is representative of going after something that you really love, and allowing yourself to be passionate in an unapologetic way. This is a little bit in the future. It seems like there is momentum building for something that you're working on, or something new that you want to try. I gotta grab these cards. Just let me see. Pisces. Pisces. To the sea. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And right beneath the High Priestess. Now, this could be you actually traveling to visit the sea. The ocean is a dominating factor in your life because you are of the ocean. You don't get lost in the water. So it's almost like you're one with the water. So there's a sense of maybe you need some time spent to yourself to clarify your head. So you could take this card as a suggestion of go to the water, go to the sea, go to the ocean, especially if you live by it, to connect with it. Or it could just be that you've been drawn to it and been around it a lot because it's helping you wash away these feelings of whatever makes you feel dirty, whatever makes you feel soiled, whatever makes you feel heavy. Because when you're in the water, it lightens you. It kind of carries your weight for you for a while, like the water we were surrounded by in the womb. It's almost like when you go to the sea, you almost go back to the womb, to that space of the beginning, of the comfort, of the most comfortable. And that will offer clarity, a clear space in your head. And then you have chaos and conflict is there. Chaos and conflict. And in some ways, this is like driving you to the sea, or it's why you're going. You're attracted to the sea. You're attracted to the sea to calm you and to sort of relax you. This is a time to explore ourselves inside. This is, the journey of the internal. And so there's a lot of conflict. And so in other words, really, if you think about it, even from the beginning of the reading, it was sort of a metaphor for this conflict, this internal conflict, right? A sense of how do I balance what's outside of me with what's inside of me, with what I give to the outside world, what I expect from the outside world, based on what I really want inside of myself. So this is the conflict that you're working through right now. This conflict of purpose and passion and pragmatism. I guess that's a good word for it. Pragmatism and practical. So you're balancing the passion with the practicality. It's no easy task, and I could see why you feel exhausted. If you've been feeling exhausted lately, definitely head to the water. You're at a point in your life where you're like, I need somebody to carry my weight for a while. Or you miss this energy of carrying my weight for a while because things are getting a little too heavy. And that's when you're usually drawn to the water, is when things are getting too heavy and you need it to carry your weight for a while. So much going on, so much chaos going on. Pisces. Choose wisely. And this is coming out in reverse. Which means this mentality of confusion, maybe fear of making the wrong choice. Like whatever way I choose, I always end up like thinking in absolutes. That's one thing that you really want to stay away from right now, Pisces, is to feel so rotten about yourself that you or feel so in doubt of your ideas that you feel like anything you choose is going to be the wrong choice. And so it leads you to a state of confusion and maybe feeling stuck right now. But in your heart, you know which direction you want to choose and you know what you believe in. And that's still something that you should be working on. I can tell you that. Absolutely. Choose wisely is coming up in the past. Maybe in the past you've decided that you haven't made great decisions. You've decided that in the past the decisions that you've made have gotten you to a point of you need to be released from these bad choices. You don't want to always be bogged down by them or judged by them. Okay? So what's coming out in the future is stand your ground. Triumphant success. Emotional withdrawal by the ocean. And discontent and boredom. I feel like these cards are more to help me understand what's going on with you than for you. But what this is saying to me is that even in your successes, you're not feeling fulfilled. Because you have stood your ground. You feel that there's a great success. And now there is a sense of feeling like you're back to where you were before you were successful. Even though you haven't lost any ground. You just don't feel fulfilled anymore with what you've been doing. It's a lack of connection. Where is this lack of connection coming from? Where is this lack of connection coming from for Pisces? This feeling of lack of connection. Where is this lack of connection coming from? Pisces. 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 Springtime. Something new started in your life. And it could have started in the springtime. So this could be a timestamp of this discontent started in the springtime. You feel like you took a loss or you took a hit during the spring, something that you didn't want to let go of. Okay, and cooperation. So it could have been friendship, a companionship, a group of friends, or just one partner. But there's just this sense of missing people, of missing people. Or in some ways things have changed, something changing in terms of your group or your social, not necessarily your social status, but how social you're allowed to be. I mean, of course, that's obvious since we've all been going through quarantine, right? Just this sense of maybe you don't feel really comfortable coming out yet the way that you thought that you would. Or there's just this sense of something has been lost. Something has been lost, and it has to do with a group or another person that you were working with. This sense of feeling empty, even though it might have been a success. There may have been a debut. There may have been it's like because when I look at this, it's like, yeah, you did it. You completed it. Right? You completed it, and it was definitely new, and I feel like it happened sometime in April or May or maybe March. This is the springtime, right? And yeah, it happened. It came out. It was debuted. The job started. But now it just feels like I don't feel happy. I'm not contented. I don't feel fulfilled. Okay, so that's where you start, because those emotions are going to show you and lead you to the real factor that is causing the ache, the suffering. Let's see if I can figure that out over here. Pisces, what is the core of this suffering, of this discontentment, let's say? I don't see that your life is going horribly. I don't see that at all. But there is a discontentment. Time to breathe out, to exhale, which means that there's been a lot. In other words, probably with the spring card here, a lot of transitions. Maybe even transitions with the people that you have been working with, maybe even with your job, maybe with people that you've been being with, like you romantically, or just a sense of just a changing of who you've been hanging out with in some sense. A time to breathe out, disseminating moon. So this is the time for you to allow yourself to feel all that you need to feel. And what the cards are saying essentially is you have to feel the loss. You're allowed to feel the loss. You're allowed to feel the sadness. You're allowed to feel the disappointment that you want to feel, and you shouldn't be struggling against it or fighting it. It's not going to lead you into a depression. It's not going to lead, in fact, fighting it is probably going to lead you into a worse space than just feeling it. And feeling it is like, yeah, things aren't where I want them to be right now. And you don't have to force yourself to remain positive. I always hate that, that mentality of like, I'm just going to think positive. Let yourself hurt, let yourself cry, give over to what, honor your emotions is what I'm saying. Bring love into the situation is coming out in the past. But there was a sense of a beautiful love, a true love, bringing love into the situation that seemed to be you were doing all the work, and it got to be a strain. This love, this connection got to be a chore or feel like a chore for you. Pisces, I'm going to continue this conversation over in the extended. I hope you join me. The link is below.